bit shy on the ground this morning, but I'm told the rest of Perth wakes up later. But thanks to all of you for coming in. It's the start of the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open, and we've got a minute to go before we go live. So just to remind you all that we are on YouTube for the next 2 days, and so although the big cameras aren't here, we're here. So that's all going great. And for those of you who have bought tickets for later on this week, some of you emailed in and asked me to reserve them, and they're all reserved up there. And you can collect them from the ticket desk. And I think, you know, we just say a big thank you to the Co-op Funeral Care, who again have come in this year and helped not just WBT, but the sport of bowls out. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the time is nigh. So let's bring your players on. Well, your first gentleman is an English international since 2012. This is his first time here on the portable rink. Please welcome Wayne Wilgress.
Nothing yet. But baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. It's something that you're never gonna forget. But baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. Waving around, that's what you do.
And up against him, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman came from Ireland. He's moved to Scotland and now plays for Scotland and comes under Scotland. So he's twice a British Isles singles champion, world ranked at number 13. Let's welcome Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross and Wayne Wilgress. Delighted that the event here is sponsored once again by the Cooperative Funeral Care. Co-op Funeral Care have been involved with sponsorship for a number of years. They've just rebranded to being the Co-op now. You remember last year, one of the really good sponsors of the game. They get involved in sponsorship at all levels. Like I say, we're delighted that they're involved here again at Perth. Start from Jonathan, but world number 13 I'm sure will settle into his game. Another good track here by Wayne Wilgress.
How far point there?
Foul, please.
You can't have 6 inches.
Our marker for the day is, or for the morning's game, is Mike Davies. Part of the very strong WBT umpiring team here. Another great ball by Wayne there, just a touch on the jack, tucks it round the corner It makes life hard work for the world number 13 at this very first end. Change of hand for Jonathan here. Well, he's on a good track. I just don't think it's making the trip. No, it's just pulled up short. Of course, the players here are under the shot clock. You'll see that there's a shot clock counting down in the background there. They've got 30 seconds to deliver their bowl after the last bowl comes to rest. You can see it counting down there for Wayne. 13, 12, 11. He's got to deliver this bowl before that clock reaches 0 or it's a dead bowl. The bowl's taken off him. Plenty of time to spare there, Wayne. Looks on a great track here again. Oh, fabulous opening end here by Wayne Wilgress. What can our world number 13 do about this? Oh, Jonathan's body language said he didn't like that. Again, it looks on a good track. I think he's just trying to draw to the back bowl to try and save. Doesn't look so bad to me, John. Great saving bowl. So Wayne takes the opening end here. The World Bowls Tour events are played the best of 9 end sets. We have 2 sets of 9 ends. If after the 2 sets it's 1 set all, we go into the very dramatic 3 end tie breaks that we're so used to seeing on our TV screens. It's Wayne's first time out there, first time qualifying, just disturbed by something in the crowd there. But that doesn't mean to say we don't know him as being a very, very, very good player. He's got to 3 or 4 finals to qualify for events at Lincoln. I remember going back a couple of years, a very exciting final between himself and Billy Jackson from Lincoln in the Super Bowl final to qualify through to the TV event. And Wayne just lost out to Billy, who went on then to win that event. So great track record, Wayne. And in the final at Lincoln to get here, he beat Mr. Steady, Phil Last. Phil's qualified a number of times for events, so it was nice to see Wayne get that breakthrough. And if he can play as well as he can, we know he's one that can give these top 16 a shake-up. And don't forget, we're live with you on the World Bowls Tour streaming. For every bowl sent, and a great bowl here from Jonathan Ross. Just unlucky really to tuck behind it. Just have to fault on the shot clock there. That gives you an idea what the noise is going to be. Gremlins, the gremlins of the first game, we always say, the gremlins of the first game. But Wayne just will need to steady himself here, take a step back. Very experienced at international level as well. Junior outdoors, junior indoors. Yes, we are live with you for every bowl sent here at the Scottish International Open on the World Bowls Tour streaming. If you can't stay with us, if you've got to go off to play a league game or are busy doing something else, don't forget you can pick up all the results on worldbowlstour.tv. And if you sat watching the streaming and you have any questions you'd like to put to any of the officials, or you'd like us to put to the players or the World Bowls Tour, just pop them down to us on either the streaming chat or on Twitter. And Twitter, we're World Bowls Tour 1. And we'll try and get the questions answered for you. I know today, 4th game up, I have one of the match officials, Dan Blewett, in with me. So any questions on rules and umpiring, just let us know for the 4th game on today. So one shot to Jonathan ties the first set up at 1-all. Those are the dulcet tones of one of our new match officials, Dan McManus. He's umpiring this game. Well, a little bit more of a loose opening end of bowls, really. I mean, normally we find the first 3 or 4 ends of any game, the players are just settling into the pace of the green, and I believe we've had a question in from somebody. Thank you for your question this morning. I think I can answer this one. The green, the pace of it. The green is apparently running about 17 seconds. It does fluctuate quite a bit at this venue. The direction that the players are playing in now is directly towards where the indoor curling ice rink is. We do tend to find as the week progresses, playing in that direction does tend to slow down somewhat. But I was reliably informed that it was running at 17 seconds. But again, thank you for your question, and I will probably put that to Dan as well when he's in the commentary box with me later on, just to get that confirmation. But Jonathan Ross just called one of his timeouts there. That gives him an extra 60 seconds to deliver his bowl. The players have 5 timeouts throughout the 2 sets of the game, at which they can take at any point in time, whatever suits them, whenever they feel it's an important point to take that little bit extra time over shot selection. They have 5 through the 2 sets, And if they go to a tie break, they get an extra timeout as well. Well, Wayne just looking to thread this ball through the gap. Just about made it by the looks of it. Those of you wanting to know what the players are playing with, I think most players on the portable rink particularly favour a big swinging roll. Jonathan Ross is playing with Taylor Ace. And Wayne is playing with Aero Bowls, and that is a great result from Jonathan there. He might have even managed to tip his own other bowl into hole 2. Yep, Mike Davis, the marker for the game, confirms there. 2 shots, that was an ultimate result. In the area, got the right result. Well, Wayne, oh, it was very unfortunate. He might have taken one of the red balls away there. Yeah, umpire being called into action. All eyes will be on the news to hear. Dan McManus, very good umpire, caught the eye of the World Bowls Tour officials team. Went through a testing programme of being watched and checked over. As you can appreciate, it's quite a stressful job for the umpires out there. They are there to help the players and to advise them, and particularly when there's a shot clock involved, have their answers for players' questions at the ready for them, rather than to waste any of the players' times. So any new umpires are checked over by the other senior umpires. We have 4 officials at each event. The 4 officials here are Mike Davis, who's marking this game, Dan McManus, who's umpire, Dan Blewett, who's on the shot clock for this game, and Tom Weir. And the other 3 umpires who are part of the squad, that I'm sure are sat at home and enjoying this coverage, are Alan Thornhill, Francis Fletcher, and another new man to the camp, Tony Hatch. Shout out to all of those. For those viewers that have followed the World Bowls Tour for some time, you'll probably notice that we have one omission from that list now. Sandra McLeish is retired. She's enjoying her bowls, but she's no longer part of the team. And we're missing her smile already, and I know she'll be listening in somewhere. She's coming down for a couple of days, I think. Jonathan opting to play a runner again here in the area. Really, Jonathan's just got a straightforward draw here. Needs to just get inside the shot bowl of Wayne Wilgress's. Again, his body language wasn't so keen on that. Just overplayed it. Kept his chalk on that one too. Mike Davis very quickly going over to just have a check for Wayne as to whether that's one or two. Very close again, Wayne. All swinging back in here. And again, Tom McManus being called on to decide which of these balls is closest. Just one shot to Wayne there, ties the score up at 2-all after 4 ends in this opening set. And don't forget we play 2 sets of 9 ends when we get to the TV stages. So it's an interesting one that we do get asked about, is the fact that at qualifiers Wayne will have played 7 end sets. Once you get to the TV events, it's 9 end sets. Gives you a little bit more breathing space, but still got to keep that concentration going. Wayne's certainly studying this bowl. Just looks slightly under the line there. Had a questioning about the bowls that the players use. The question actually was, why are they made to play with such wide swinging bowls? They're not. The choice of bowls is theirs. They can play with whatever bowls they want. If they are top of the draw, they have got to be red bowls, and if they are bottom of the draw, they've got to be green. But a lot of players have their own bowls. There is also a World Bowls Tour pool of bowls. So if they get to the venue, there are sets of bowls they can try out, see which are best. But predominantly, you tend to find the top players will select a wide swinging bowl, as a tighter line bowl will not make it back to the centre sometimes. So although they're not made to play with any sort of bowl, they can choose their pole. Most of the top players, as I say, tend to select a wider swinging bowl. It just reacts to the carpet a little bit better on this portable rink. The rink that you see there is actually built on top of the rinks here at the Jewish Centre in Perth. It arrives on a truck. It takes several days for it to all to come together. Well, players start practicing on it about Thursday. It's available, so they've got plenty of time to book sessions and work out what sort of set of bowls they want to use. Do hope that answers the question that we had in, and I will also put that to one of the players when we get to one of the players in commentary. Sounds like we have quite a few people listening in and watching on the streaming. Just a good morning to everybody out there. Really thank you for joining us here at the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2016, kindly hosted by the Jewish Centre here in Perth. There's still tickets available if you want to come down and have a watch in person. If not, we're live without question of a doubt through every bowl play today. Straight after this game, featured game Darren Burnett versus Steve Halmai. Then this afternoon we have David Gourlay playing Ruthie Galore from Israel, Mervyn King playing Lisa Featherby from Australia, Jason Greenslade playing the co-op wildcard Connor Sinato, Robert Paxton playing Anthony Webb. The final game up today, Alex Marshall, MBE versus Mark Sanford, and we're here with you for every single bowl played. Do join us and enjoy your Saturday watching bowls. Wayne just looks under the line here again. One red. Jonathan's looking in the area here again. Hometown of Paisley now, Jonathan Ross, but well known for playing for Ireland for a number of years before he came over and started playing for Scotland. He's part of the Scottish indoor international team now. Never actually won a World Bowls Tour event. Stayed into top 16. He's been in the top 16 since 2001, but never actually made it to winning and picking up one of the titles. He's had a good run recently, did very well at Blackpool last year. Chance of counting another here. Just pulled up short. Two shots to Jonathan Ross, takes him 4-3. It's a game of nip and tuck game, this first game on here. Jonathan just choosing to change the length a little bit. He knows he can't shake Wayne off at the moment. Very expressive Wayne Wilgress, one of the characters in the game at the moment, and possibly one of the tallest players we have. He's all of 6'6". When Wayne won his qualifier at Lincoln, he was sat writing out his profile form with his good lady. Those of you that watch quite a lot of TV bowls and top bowls, Wayne Wilgress's girlfriend is one Rebecca Field, well known on the ladies circuit, has won the ladies world match play title. And one of the things she smiled about when they were doing the player profile was she insisted in hobbies, he puts, watching every episode of Hollyoaks. There, I promised I would get that into commentary at some point, so. But like I say, Wayne is one of the players that's got a great sense of humour. As has this man on the mat. Certainly getting to the nitty-gritty part of the first set here now, 7th end. Score's very close. Jonathan just pulled up there slightly. As I mentioned before, the temperature in the dewars does affect the rink. You do find that the pace fluctuates throughout the game, which means that you have to adjust very quickly. Close here, if it runs and just rests off his own bowl. It was unfortunate there, it just stood upright. So after 7 ends of the first set, we're all square at 4-all. Wayne's certainly finding a very good line down this side of the rink, playing back towards our commentary position. Slots another bowl in there. End 8. Crucial end here in this first set. Jonathan opting to play a timer down here. Looks close. Got one bowl out, but a little nudge on the jack took back over to Wayne's timer down here. Bowl. Looks close. Now Wayne just needs to calmly draw another in there. Wayne's mum and dad are here supporting him. Jonathan Ross has got some friends here. Michael and Karen Kelly are up from Blackpool to support their good friend Jonathan Ross. It's nice as a player when you're out there to have that little bit of support you knows round you. Jonathan looks on a good line here. There you go, that just shows these swingy bowls. Make it all the way back to centre. I know a couple of the players were saying the other night they tried tighter running bowls and they were just holding off. Replay on that bowl. Perfect line. Look at this swinging into a finish. Sits behind the jack. Great shot there. Wayne's just calling a timeout. Very good time to call a timeout. Critical bowl here. Choosing to just play the draw. Sit on his own green bowl to the left of your screen. Watching it. Look at the bend in it now. Very close here, Wayne. Excellent bowl there from Wayne Wildress. Just showing the quality that this player is. Well, I think Jonathan's 2 shots against him here. There's still the rest there of the 2 green bowls. High line again. It'll swing it all the way back. Will it do enough? Will it get all the way back? Sitting on an angle, is it going to fall? Umpire and marker timing it. Sat down. Calling for another measure here. Dan McManus has certainly been tested on his umpiring skills in this first set. Well, one of the green bowls has been checked and taken out, so they have to re-chock the second green bowl there. Just the one to Wayne. He takes a 5-4 lead. Last end. Good game this. Nice opening game. Certainly Wayne's not shown any signs of nerves out there. He's a very confident player, so I think once he'd got himself ready and actually gone out on the rink, I'm sure he'll be enjoying this experience. Well, Wayne's in a bit of trouble here. 2 fairly loose bowls. He's going to play a runner here. Can he get back? No, he's missed it. Well, after a fight all the way through this set, Wayne just taking his foot off the pedal a little bit here at this end and opened the door for the world number 13, Jonathan Ross. Decisions, decisions. Jonathan's still got a bowl left. He's holding 3 shots here. Called a timeout. Depends on how confident he's feeling. There is room for the draw, but there's also the shot of playing through, trying to get the jack through to the back. The jack in the ditch. Up through to his back bowl. It puts all the pressure back on Jonathan. Looks like that's his decision. He's playing a big runner. He's watching it. Is he in the area? Well, he's got a result off that. Punches the air. Fist punches the air. Really delighted with that. Got the absolute ultimate result, really. Had to be in the area. Get some sort of connection on the jack. Get the jack to move. And the jack's moved right to his back bowl. Well, pressure all back on Jonathan now. Well, looks under the line to me. Got it away quite badly there. So, Wayne Wilg takes the first set against world number 13, Jonathan Ross. Those of you that are keeping the scores, that was 6-4 to Wayne. Now we go into the second set. Well, when the draw came out for this Scottish International Open, it was commented that it was one of the strongest fields we've ever had, and some really, really tough games. The top 16 in the world come here automatically. There are 16 qualifiers. Some of those 16 qualifiers have had to come through grueling qualifying, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning sometimes, playing 5-6 games, sometimes more to get here. And certainly there are a few of the top 16 have got really, really tough opening games, and this was one of them. This was one of them on the cards. Wayne Wilg. Can he create the first shock of the tournament? Well, to do that, he's got to win this second set. If not, we go to a tie break. Don't forget, we're live with you for every bowl sent today and throughout the week. If you can't stay with us, pick up the scores on worldbowlstour.tv. If you've got any questions, put them to us on either the streaming chat or the Twitter feed, and we'll pick them up here and we will get your questions answered. We like to feel like we are the interactive channel for you. Try and get any questions answered. And it's good to have your company here this morning. Wayne And just went through the gap there. Didn't want to be short again. Well, currently stands at 4 red. Jonathan's a very experienced player, as I mentioned, been in the top 16 since 2001. And with the set system, although Wayne's won the first set, slate's clean for the second. He's looking to try and trail the jack again. Got it perfect. Well, from looking like he was possibly going to drop a 4 there, he's managed to pick up a shot. If he'd have missed the jack again, he could have been in all sorts of trouble, but having won that first set, it does make you relax that little bit. It means that you tend to play your bowls confidently, knowing that the worst case scenario is you're going to a tie break if your opponent takes the second set off you. Wayne looks just under the weight here. Again, very good line.
How far my last hole, please? 20.
Oh, Wayne, on a great track again here. Oh, just slipped through the gap. Just overplayed it. He was just looking to rest inside those 2 bowls of Wayne's. Well, similar bowl, Wayne. Little touch on the jack would be perfect. Very close. Great ball there from Wayne again. Fist bump in the air. Big smile. Oh, Jonathan playing a bit of a timer now. Looks in the area. Might just be unlucky and get his own bowl. Got his own bowl. Three shots to Wayne there. Great start in the second set, 4-0. Well, again, Wayne watching this. He's not so keen on this, just dropped a little bit of the weight off. Still quite a bit of room there for the draw. Looks like he might just be pulling up short again here. Inch gap there. Wayne is actually holding shot with his last bowl. Well, looking good here, Wayne. Little touch on that jack would be very nice. He's certainly playing well today. He's putting all the pressure on Jonathan Ross. He's put his bowl down as Jonathan is walking up to the head to have a look. It'll be another timeout here. Yeah, Wayne's holding 2 shots. Don't forget the players have 5 timeouts throughout the first 2 sets. 1 extra one if we go into a tie break. Big ball here from Jonathan. 4-0 down. Third end. Very close. Great ball. Great effort. From our angle here, it looks like it's still 1 green. Our marker, Mike Davis, will verify that shortly. Yep, 1 green. Wayne's called a timeout. Just a little bit of a disturbance there for Wayne on the mat. Resets himself, plenty of time. He's called the timeout. Oh, a nice wide drawing line here. If it makes it back to that red bowl of Jonathan's. Oh, well played, Wayne. Again, just a little smile from Wayne up to the players' balcony where his mum and dad are here to support him today. Girlfriend Rebecca Field is out in Hong Kong representing England at the Hong Kong Classic. So shout out to Rebecca there if you're busy listening in, Bex. Your man's doing well here at the moment. Oh, he might have just got a result out of that. Jonathan Ross was in the area, quite looking like he was going to possibly drop a 2 or a 3. He managed to pick a 1 up. Again, Jonathan walking up the rink with the mat, choosing to play shorter length. Replay on that bowl, very, very lucky. Turns Wayne's in. Initially Wayne was holding 3 there and then it just snuck through to Jonathan's back bowl. Well, still plenty of room for a draw in here. Oh, Jonathan's stalking this, watching it. Just get a bit of an edge off Wayne's bowl, sitting for shot.
Wayne's using here.
Again, just to confirm, we had a question about the players' bowls. Jonathan Ross is well known for playing with Taylor Ace, but I believe he's out there with his Taylor Internationals today. And Wayne is part of the Aero team. Well, Jonathan, in the area, needs to pop that ball through. Wayne's watching this. Again, very, very close. Great bowl, Wayne. Two shots declared. Well, Jonathan Ross has got himself out of some scrapes before. He's in a bit of a pickle here at the moment. There's Wayne Wilgress from Norfolk Bowling Club. He's taken the first set 6-4 and leads the second set 6-1 after 4 ends. Well, 5 ends left to play, 5 behind. Really, Jonathan's put himself in a position where he has to win every end, but it's not that he's bowled badly, it's that the man on the mat, Wayne, has played very well. Close again here, Wayne. Well, that's not gone into a bad position. Wayne doesn't have to try anything too fancy here, just needs to close the game down, which when we refer to that, it means keep things tight, make sure you don't drop a 2 or a 3. And certainly stepped up to the mark, 2 there. Yeah, the ball's just on an angle there. So Mike Davis, the markers, said he's indicated it is a toucher. It feels if he sprayed the toucher with the chalk sprays we have, it might affect the situation. Well, we always like to take a check on where we have viewers from, and I can give the nod to my producer next to me that I'm reliably informed that for our first game here we have got live spectators in Hong Kong. Shout out to David Bolt. Hope you're doing well out there, guys. I'm sure you might be having better weather than we are in Perth, though it's a sunny day out there. It's very, very chilly here. Wayne just tried to play a timer shot there and just missed opportunity here for Jonathan. Draw in for 3. Well, if it sits in, it's got a chance. Two have been declared there. Mike Davies just very carefully taking the closest ball away as it was touching the jack.
2 red for the measure.
Dan McManus being called out again to decide on which of these bowls is the third closest to the jack.
Two shots, Jonathan Ross.
2 shots to Jonathan Ross. It certainly keeps him in this second set.
Set score 3-6 after 5 innings.
Don't forget, stick with us for the rest of the day. Next game up is Darren Burnett versus Steve Halmai. Then from 2 o'clock onwards we have David Gawley versus Ruti Galore, Mervyn King versus Lisa Featherby, Jason Greenslade versus Connor Sinato, Robert Paxson versus Tony Webb, and Alex Marshall MBE and Mark Sanford completes our day one here at the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2016. Well, we've just had through on the streaming chat about some of the places that are listening in at the World Bowls Tour YouTube streaming. We've got Slovenia listening in, people in Mexico, we've got people in Perth, Western Australia, people in New Zealand and people in Hong Kong. Good to have you all with us here as we're live from the Jewish Centre in Perth in Scotland.
Wondering.
And we're with you right through to next weekend, and every single bowl that's sent here you'll get live, full HD, full commentary. And if you can't stay with us, don't forget the results are available on worldbowlstour.tv.
Time out call. John on stand, 1 time out.
We're glad at World Bowls Tour we can bring you this service now and get some great coverage here at Perth from the BBC network. They go live with the games on TV from Monday, but we here in streaming, we're with you all week. Close again. Wayne still holding 1 here and 6. We're definitely getting down to the important end of the set. Certainly the important end of the set for world number 13, Jonathan Ross, who is 6-3 down in the second set, having lost the first set 6-4. Good ball from Wayne there, getting second ball in the head. closer here. Might just get the bowl. That was why Wayne needed another bowl in the head. Still 1 to green. Big chance here. Gets another bowl in the head here. Picks up a 2. 8-3. Well, we've seen some shocks over the years here up in Scotland. In first round, some years we see the top 16 just taking their place in the last 16 quite easily. It was always billed as being one of the toughest 32s ever up here.
Set score 3-7 after 6 ends.
And Wayne Wilgress could be the first one to take one of the top 16 scalps here.
Jack length 26.5 meters.
Well, again, body language from Jonathan Ross there didn't look too happy with that. Looks on a good track. Might just be his pace. Close again here from Wayne. He's putting the pressure on. He might have just tipped the jack to Jonathan's bowl.
1 red.
It was unfortunate, but it still keeps that a very tight head. Jonathan needs to be picking up shots. I kind of wonder if he might be having a bit of back pain out there. He seems to be grimacing every time he releases a bowl. Well, again, unfortunate. Still 1 down, but game 1 is no good to Jonathan. 3 ends to play. He's got to win this set to take us into the tie break. There is a tied set, or do Wayne.
2 red.
Wayne playing a runner here. A few chances really. Middle bowl would do very nicely. Middle bowl we got, but it went straight through the gap. I think he might have just pushed Jonathan's second bowl out.
One red.
Yep. Mike Davies just confirming just 1 red there. Again, a grimace from Jonathan when he lets go of the bowl.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Set score 4-7 after 7 ends.
Well, 3 behind Jonathan Ross, world number 13. First round here, still grimacing. But is that just the effect of the fact that the man in green, Wayne Wilgress, is thoroughly in the driving seat here?
Jack length 23.5 metres.
Very short jack here from Jonathan. Again, delivery. I definitely think he's got something up with his back. And Wayne. One shot at this end. Would mean that Jonathan couldn't win the game, because even if he scored a 4, it would only tie the set at that stage. A tied set is no good to Jonathan Ross, because Wayne Wilgress won the first set here. So realistically, Jonathan Ross wants to count at least a couple. And what a great end of bowls this is. Never give up, is the motto out there. All you need is your opponent to just have one loose end. And Wayne's watching this. Very close here, very close, Wayne. Great bowl.
One red.
Well, we've certainly had a good game of bowls here. Watch this bowl of Wayne's now. Gets in the area, even if it's still one red, that is a very good bowl. It takes a big count away from Jonathan. Jonathan's really got to follow that down now. Try and push it out. He's under the line there. Well, similar bowl, Wayne. Pick up that jack. Turn Jonathan's bowl once. Shake hands time. Well, could this bowl see the first seed out of the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open? And could it see Wayne Wilgress from Norfolk through to the last 16? Certainly watching it. Is it going to finish? Well, we go into the final end. One shot to Jonathan.
Set score 5-7 after 8 ends.
So 2 behind Wayne means that Jonathan's got to score a 3. I think the wheels would have to seriously come off for Wayne here, but it has happened before. The Wayne supporters will be biting the nails.
Jacqueline, 24.5 meters.
Loose opener there from Jonathan. Can Wayne make the adjustment and put one in close? Very expressive with the rag there, Wayne. Well, very loose end here from both players to begin with first bowls. But at the moment, from our commentary position, it looks like Wayne's beats Jonathan's first bowl. So that means that Jonathan's got to count with all three of these.
Your bowl is 3.5 feet.
Good line. All on his pace here. Finishes to the red bowl. Just overcooked it. This is where Jonathan Ross has got to call on all his years of international experience. Experience in the top 16. Well, holding 2, but there's quite a bit of room there. Wayne, slight adjustment. Bowl higher. He's certainly put it a bowl higher. All on the pace here. Well, Wayne, looking good all the way here.
One green.
Wipes the sweat off his brow with his cloth. Now all you can do, Wayne, is see what this man walking to the mat in red can do. Are we going to see our first shock here? First one of the top 16 to fall at the first hurdle. Jonathan's watching it. Is it going to get wrecked on his own short bowl? Wayne Wilgrass takes the first game here at the Cooperative Funeral Care Scottish International Open. Thank you so much for your company for this first game. Join us after this short break for Darren Burnett versus Steve Halmai.
Round of applause. Played well. Your next match will follow on very shortly, as the players will have their trial ends first. you enjoy the first match? Yeah, there's some really, really good bowls there. We've got a cracking afternoon lined up for you. I've just had a quick peek myself. There's some really good matches there. Just wait for the players to be in position. And welcome to the second match of the day, ladies and gentlemen, of the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open. And let's bring the players out for you. Your first player was an England international from 1984 to 1997. He emigrated to Australia, where he now plays from. Please welcome Stephen Halmai. And up against Stephen, ladies and gentlemen, well, he's the reigning World Pairs and World Mixed Pairs champion. He's world ranked at number 7, and it's Scotland's very own Darren Burnett.
Well, again folks, interesting game lined up here as our second game at the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2016. Very familiar face out on the rink in red, Darren Burnett. As Richard mentioned there, he's the current world indoor pairs champion and mixed pairs champion, with his partners Stuart Anderson in the pairs and Catherine Rednall in the mixed pairs, and he's facing Steve Halmai. Now, for those of you that are bound to question why Steve's got the American flag next to his name, he actually went to qualify for this event to the American qualifier. We have qualifiers all over the world. One of them is in America. So Steve travelled from Australia to America to play. So therefore, because he won the American qualifier, he represents the American qualifier here. I was having a bit of a smile with Steve earlier. I said, going to be interesting commentary this, because he's also ex-England international, emigrated to Australia and has been and qualified out of America. There you go, that's it in a nutshell. But been to these places before, he's no stranger to the portable rink.
This ball is 12 inches from Jack High. This ball is sitting 10 inches from Jack High.
There you go, your marker for this game, Dan McManus, new member of the officials team. Darren playing a runner very early on here. Spotted it. Yeah, umpire is Dan Blewett, and shot clock is Tom Weir. The other thing about the Australian qualifiers that always makes me smile is they always turn up and practice in the shorts, and are used to playing in shorts. With the Scottish weather, I'm sure they change before they go back outside. We did have a little bit of snow yesterday. We all ducked inside as soon as that started.
One and a measure. One green and a measure.
Few in the crowd now. Saw the shock exit of world number 13, Jonathan Ross, but for those of you who knew his opponent, Wayne Wilgress, would know that that wasn't so much a shock. Wayne's a quality player, as is Steve Halmai. We've got a really quality field here. So Darren's going to have to be on his best mettle here. Like that might have just drawn shot.
One shot, Darren Burnett.
So Darren takes the opening end there. Picks up a single. And that's got our second game of the day off to a start here. Darren making a mess of that jack delivery. Very, very unlike Darren, but those of you astute viewers that were with us for the Scottish International Open last year, Darren had a couple of jack delivery issues then as well, so but I'm sure he'll reset himself now and draw to this.
One red.
I know we always say it, but the opening ends of any game out there on the portable rink tend to be just settling ends for the players, and that even goes for the top 16 as well. And don't forget, if you can't stay with us, you'll get all the reports, news and results on worldbowlstour.tv. And if you want to bob us a message, just send it through on either the chat or Twitter, and questions we will try and get answered by either the officials or one of the World Bowls Tour directors. We'll always try and get your questions answered so that you feel involved with this streaming. And we're here with you for the rest of the day. After lunch with a 2 o'clock start, we have David Gourley, who won the International Open back at Blackpool back in March. He faces the Israeli qualifier Ruthie Glor. Mervyn King faces the Australian qualifier Lisa Featherby. Jason Greenslade, who was the runner-up here last year, faces the co-op wildcard Connor Sinato. World number 4 Robert Paxson versus Tony Webb. And Alec Marshall MB versus Canadian Mark Sanford. And we're with you for every bowl sent, including that bowl of Steve's that was just wide of target.
One shot, Darren Burnett.
So Darren takes the second end.
Set score 2-0 for 2 ends. Jack length 27.5 metres.
Bottom of down, Dan.
7-inch gap done.
Darren's a police officer from Arbroath. Steve Halmai is retired. He's a retired investor and he plays out of Tweed Heads. And Steve's another one of the aero players. He plays with aero bowls, and Darren Burnett's part of the Taylor group. And he plays with, there's a rule Taylor Ace. I have noticed that a few of the Taylor players out there have been playing with Taylor Internationals.
Front bowl done. 1 red, front bowl.
Last ball, Jack High.
Last bowl is 6 inches past Jack High.
And Darren's also one of the players that frequents the commentary position with my good self. And I'm sure we'll be hearing his dulcet tones in commentary at some point in time this week. Yeah, settled down now well as Darren. Steve's got an unusual delivery. A few of us wondered whether it might affect him on the shot clock, but as I say, he has experienced shot clock before, so very close here. Little glide. In fact, the little glide probably didn't do the bowl any good. We'll get an indication whether that's actually saved.
1 red.
And marker Dan McManus declaring 1 red. Well, Darren's body language didn't like that delivery at all, and there you go, it's just pulled up short. Steve's got to have a similar delivery to his last, just a little glide off that short bowl. Looks like he's short here. Another single to Darren, we think. Well, Darren's just asking for that to be measured by match umpire Dan Blewett. You'll see he there just had a look as to whether the calipers he had in his hand were going to be the right piece of equipment for the job. And he's selected the box measure. There you see our wonderful new ditch cam view. Oh, nicely blocked by Darren there, bless him. He doesn't realise that there's a new camera there, obviously. No doubt when he sees that ditch cam shot, he'll say, "Oh, why didn't somebody say to me there was a camera there?"
One shot, Darren Burnett.
Dan McManus has got a smile on his face there. It's his first full event here at Scotland. And he just made a good call, and that always settles a marker's nerves down. Especially when he knows the eyes around him watching and checking that he's up to a standard. Dan's working as part of the officials team here. Got Dan Blewett, Tom Weir and very experienced Mike Davis at this event this week, and I'll give a shout out to the three that I'm sure will be pinned watching at home. Francis Fletcher, Tony Hatch and the head umpire Alan Thornhill, who has already said to me that
Your ball
if
is
anybody
7 inches from Jack High.
has any questions they want to put to an umpire, he's sat at the other end of the telephone line for us, and he's prepared to answer any of your umpire's questions. Close here, just got a edge off the short bowl.
One red.
Now Darren's just having a bit of a look at this. He's backhand
Gap between the two greens. This ball at the back is a gap of
is
4.5
blocked,
inches.
so to speak.
The ball at the front is a gap of 9 inches, and it's lying 7.5 inches from Jack High.
I think he's just looking at playing the forehand down to the back bowl there of Steve's. Even if he gets an angle at this side, it makes Steve's shot harder to play. I think Darren's just, yeah, he's urging it on there. Just pulled up short. I think Steve will be calling a timeout here. His time there's ticking down behind the
Timeout
clock.
called.
There you go, timeout called.
Steve has 4 timeouts remaining.
Players have 5 timeouts throughout the course of the 2 sets, and an extra additional one if they go into a tie break. Well, he's down a very good track here. Just a little chunk on Darren's bowl. Now, has he been unfortunate? Has it gone back to Darren's bowl or has it stayed with the green bowl? Smile off Darren there.
1 green.
Indication of 1 green. It did stay. Sometimes the jack moves so quickly it can ricochet between bowls.
Favourite's the green bowl, Darren, if it goes to between the two. Time out called.
Well, very close to this, Darren. Oh, very, very unlucky there, taking his own bowl out the head.
One green and a measure. That's a short ball. That's a measure between those two. Say again, Steve. Third ball. Your front ball. Time out called.
Now Darren's just declared 1 bowl at the moment, Steve.
2 shots, Steve Halmai.
And players confirm between themselves there, 2 shots to Steve.
Sesco 3-2 to 4 ends.
To 4 ends with 3-2. I'm sure we've got some people out in tweed heads watching Steve. It's great to hear you're all joining us. I know for the first game we had people in Slovenia, Mexico, New Zealand and Hong Kong listening in. Glad we at World Bowls Tour can provide you with this streaming so you can watch all your local players play when they get to this TV stage of the World Bowls Tour event. Close here from Darren. Darren got to the semi-final here last year and was actually probably the favourite to go on to win it, and just failed at the semi-final stage. Greg Harlow, who went on to win the tournament last year, beat him. It's a tied first set, and Greg snuck over the line in the second set. So Darren will be hoping to recapture some of that form from last year.
Correct. One red.
Great ball there from Darren. So he followed his ball up there, as did Steve, which means that he knows he'll have the full 30 seconds with his last bowl to walk down from the head and actually deliver his bowl. With the World Bowls Tour rules, there's no only going up after your third bowl. You can go up after every bowl you want, as long as you're back down to the mat and delivered the ball within 30 seconds.
Steve has 2 timeouts remaining. Darren has 4 timeouts remaining.
Become quite an interesting end at N5. You normally find that the cat and mouse of the game starts kicking in at N7, but Darren will be aware how good a player Steve Halmai is, so he won't want him to escape away from him early.
2 shots, Darren Burnett.
Set score 5-2 of the 5 ends.
Well, Darren's certainly in control of this at the moment.
Jump length 26
But
metres.
Steve settled in well. He qualified here back in 2012, if memory serves me right. He's also played at the International Open at Blackpool and at the World Championships, so he's quite an experienced player. Played internationally for England for many years before emigrating to Australia. For those of you just tuning in, he is Australian. He does live in Australia, but he won the American qualifier. He travelled over, had a holiday over in America, won the American qualifier, so he's here representing the American qualification.
One green.
Good view of the new shirts there. Co-op have had a rebranding. This new blue logo. So we have new shirts with the new logo on, and they look quite effective on the rink there. There you go, the perfect view of the new shirts.
One green. Last ball sitting 17-inch gap, moved the short ball, which is now a very slight gap off the jack and 4 inches from jack high. Your last ball 17 inches past jack high.
he'll just be looking to get back to this red bowl of Darren's. It looks like he might have overplayed it, yeah. Hand signals is looking like he's trying to ease the bowl up. Darren has got a trail shot on now, off the backhand. The current Commonwealth Games gold medalist at the singles. Very close, he just needs to run a touch. That was almost a perfect bowl from Darren there. He'll be quite happy with it. It means that Steve's holding one shot, and it will be hard to get another shot in here. There is the draw. Looks on a very high line. On that line he would have to be the perfect weight for it to get back to centre.
One shot, Steve Halmai.
So Steve's
5-3.
still hanging in this first set. There's 2-shot difference, 3 ends left to play. It's nice to see in the crowd that the other Australian qualifier, Jamie Smith, is sat out watching his compatriot. And also Lisa Featherby from New Zealand, she's sat out there supporting the players from the Southern Hemisphere. Don't forget, if you can't stay with us, you'll pick up all the results and news on worldbowlstour.tv. And if you've got any questions, bob them to us on Twitter, which is worldbowlstour1, or on the streaming chat, and we'll try and get them answered for you. If I can't answer them myself, I'll certainly put the question to one of the tour officials or one of the directors of the WBT, and we'll try and get you an answer. We like you to feel like you're involved with us, as you're spending your Saturday watching the top players in the world compete for the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2016.
Slightly favour one green.
Well, looks down a good line. That typical wobble delivery of Darren Burnett's. Very consistent. There's been a lot of talk over the years about
One red.
people that deliver bowls with a wobble or tend to thump them out. And it's all about consistency. If the delivery is consistent, you too can become world champion or Commonwealth Games gold medalist. ball here from Steve if it just pulls up. Darren's had a look there. He'll know the situation in the head. And he's choosing to play down this backhand with a little bit of pace. Get the jack, take shot ball out. Got the jack straight into the ditch. There you go, that's a great view from our new ditch cam. Could be 2 to Darren.
One shot, Darren Burnett.
Just the one, but it still gives him a 6-3 lead with 2 ends to play in this first set.
Successful 6-3.
We play 2 sets of 9 ends, and if it's 1 set all after the completion of the second set, we play a 3-end tie break.
Jack Leg 28.5 metres.
Well, he was close to throwing that jack off again, Darren. Very interesting. I shall no doubt quiz him about this after the game. Cracking lineup of games for you for the rest this afternoon. If you join us again after this game, we commence again at 2 o'clock. David Gawley versus Ruthie Galore. Mervyn King versus Lisa Featherby. Jason Greenslade versus Connor Sinato. Robert Paxson versus Tony Webb. And Alec Marshall, MBE versus Mark Sanford. And we'll be with you for every single bowl played here at the Scottish International Open. Kindly sponsored by Co-op Funeral Care and hosted by the Dewar Centre in Perth.
2-inch gap.
Looks to just be holding out again, really. Got the line very well, Steve, but just struggling for the pace. Play on that ball of Darren's sitting down. Nudge the jack forward, and Steve's nearly picked it up on its way past. Another good ball here from Darren. I always say that the top 16 are very vulnerable in the first game until we've settled into the carpet. Proved that in the first game today when Jonathan Ross has fallen. The first hurdle being beaten by Wayne Wilgress. How many more seeds will we see bite the dust today?
One red.
Well, Steve's still got a shot on here to just nibble the jack to his own 2 bowls. It's not an easy shot. He could choose to play a runner down his forehand, but he's in danger then. Flicking the jack over and dropping a big account.
Timeout call.
Have to take another
Steve
timeout.
has 1 timeout remaining.
He's taken 4 of his 5 timeouts in the first set. As I mentioned earlier, he's a very slow, deliberate player anyway, so the shot clock will be something that his natural rhythm of play will not be used to.
One shot, Darren Burnett.
And he's down 4 up with 1 end to play in this first set.
Set score 7-3, 8 ends.
The winner of this game will face the winner of the previous game, Wayne Wilgress.
Length 28.5 metres.
Well, Steve's got to counter 4 at this end if he's going to tie the set, and that's a great opener from Darren. Steve was an England international back in 1984, had quite a long run in the internationals in 1997. And Darren's one of the Scottish players that's part of the elite squad. Oh, very unlucky there again, Steve. It sometimes is like that if the look of the game's just going against you.
2 red.
Darren's just having a look at the situation in the head here. He's quite comfortable, obviously, and Steve's got to score a 4. So he's just having a quick look there if it was possible for Steve to counter 4. I think this will be a cover bowl here from Darren. Doesn't matter how many he wins the set by, as long as he wins the set. Just get to this green bowl. We're disappointed with that. I would think he would have wanted that another couple of feet.
Timeout called. Steve has no timeouts remaining.
This is kind of a hit and hope shot. He needs a 4 out of this. He's got the jack out. I don't know whether it's gone out the side or not, but I think even on the re-spot. Oh, there you go. Clear picture of ditch cam. Goes on the re-spot, but I still feel it's...
One shot, Steve Halmai.
Yeah, just the one.
First set to Dan Burnett.
We've had a viewer's questioning about why the marker was spraying a bowl that touched the jack, and that's because if a bowl touches the jack on its course down the rink, it is a live bowl, and therefore if it goes in the back ditch, and that's between the yellow marker you see to the right of Darren there, and there's another yellow marker at the other side of the rink. It goes directly into the back ditch there. That bowl would remain live for the rest of that end. Like that, he's going to perfect time in there. Just see Dan McManus chalk the bowl. It's a spray chalk, which means in the old days we used to use a stick of chalk, but that would mean actually having to touch the bowl, whereas these modern spray chalks, it means that the marker can spray the bowl without having to touch it.
To red.
Again, another good view of that delivery of Steve Halmai's. Watching a number of the players in practice this week, and there's several interesting deliveries for you to keep your eyes out for. Mark Sanford, the gentleman who's qualified from Canada, that's playing Alex Marshall later on today. Last game up. Very interesting delivery style. Darren again, another one of the emotional players out on a rink. You can always tell from Darren's face if he's happy with the delivery. Some of the top 16 are very straight face, no emotion shown. Some of them really show the passion on the face. Steve's playing a runner here. Well, could be an interesting... I thought he might have got a result off that, but instead I think it's a 2.
2 shots, Dan Burnett.
Opening end of the second set, Darren Burnett takes 2 shots. He's already won the first set 7-4. He's ranked 7 in the world at the moment, Darren. One of the most consistent players, certainly at the top of his game at the moment. I mentioned before, part of the
Juggling to 29.5 metres.
elite Scottish squad. Plays bowls both indoors and out. There's a few of the top players now just play indoors, but Darren represents Scotland indoors and out. A bit of static interference there. Oh, great effort there by
One
Steve.
red.
Quite
One
didn't clip
red.
it out enough.
Two red.
Well, he's chosen to play a drive shot here to try and take both bowls out. He's got the jack. A lot of the Southern Hemisphere players do play big drive bowls. We'll find out in a minute when the dust settles. I think that's Darren's toucher. So Dan McManus there is marking the jack position in the ditch. He's checking now if that bowl was a touch of Darren's. It's not, so it's been removed from out of the ditch. So if that bowl had had a chalk mark on it and it had touched the jack and it's run down the rink, it would have remained live. Instead, I think the current position down there is green is holding 2 shots. Now Darren Burnett, very close here. Just pulled up.
One green.
One green.
One green.
How far is it from the ditch, the red ball?
Just under a yard.
Well, the track looks very good here, all on the pace. All on its pace. Very unlucky. I tell you what, that ditch cam shot's a great shot for that sort of angle of the situation. We get to see what's
One
happening.
shot. Steve Halmai.
Steve
2-1, 2 ends.
changing the jack length now again. He's brought the mat up to, well, looks like within sort of 5-6 inches of the minimum spot, so this jack has got to reach the tee.
Jack length 23 metres.
First one is just under the 2 feet, Darren. Two red. Two red. Three red. One green. Timeout called. Darren has 3 timeouts remaining. One shot, Steve Halmai.
Well, Steve squares it all up at 2-all after 3 ends.
Set score 2-2 for 3 ends. Jack length 23 metres.
I'm getting lots of your messages and questions coming through. We'll try and answer what we can. Don't forget, at 2 o'clock we start again this afternoon with David Gawley and Ruthie Galore. Then the second game up when Mervyn King and Lisa Featherby are playing. I have one of the senior match officials, Dan Blewett, joining me in commentary. So again, I'll ask him to clarify the official words
Shot
on
Jack high behalf a ball.
things like how a jack and bowl touching means that the bowl stays live. I'll put that one to him and then he'll give you the full confirmation on that ruling. And anything else you want to ask Dan, please just let us know and we'll put some questions to him this afternoon. We'll put him on the spot, why not?
One red.
I've just had a question in from somebody that couldn't watch the first game this morning. They were out playing bowls. Well, just to let you know that we did have the first
One red.
seed disappear from the tournament. The game this morning was Jonathan Ross versus Wayne Wilgress, and Wayne won that game 6-4, 8-5, and he now waits for the winner of this game for his last 16 place against whoever wins this on Tuesday afternoon.
You have no timeouts remaining.
That'll make Steve
No
rush
timeouts
this bowl.
remaining.
He's already taken all of his time out. So that is a dead bowl. He can't have that bowl.
Ball's dead.
There you go, confirmation of that. Bit of a banter there. Dan McManus just going to explain to Steve Halmai the situation. Interesting to have an incident like that in the first full game as a match official out there, but he's got the very, very experienced Dan Blewett and Tom Weir out there as umpire and shot clock. They doubly confirmed. Dan McManus was quite correct. Steve Halmai had run out of
One shot.
timeouts.
Dan Burnett.
Set score 3-2 after 4 hits. Length 28.5 metres.
1 red.
Well, the second set has been a little bit more loose bowls from both players. Steve Halmai will now surely have in his head that he daren't be too slow with the delivery. Any bowl now that he doesn't play within the 30 seconds will be a dead bowl.
8 inches.
The only time he would be entitled to another timeout would be if this game went to a tie break. Darren will be well aware that that will mean that Steve will be conscious of time. You don't want to rush important bowls.
One red.
Just unfortunate. Just nudge the jack to Darren's.
Gap between your ball from Jack High, gap is 5 inches from Steve at 7.5.
Well, Steve's followed this up quite rightly too. If he follows his bowl up now, it means that he's then got 30 seconds with his next bowl to walk back down and deliver. See there now, Darren doing the famous skips backwards walk. It's something that's practiced, it's an art form.
Third down.
Always makes me smile because I always wonder if you got back as far as the mat when you're walking backwards and there was a bowl there. Are you likely to go tripping over backwards? Close here, Darren. If this finishes, just slightly overplayed. See one of our volunteer camera crew in the background there. Now, hasn't got a result out of this. The jack looks to have gone out the side of the rink. There you go, our ditch cam confirms Dan McManus has just put the jack back on the respot. Now just checking the bowls that have gone in the ditch. Dan Blewett, one of our senior match officials, just keeping an eye on what's going on. There's your called. Dan Blewett just asking for him to take away the bowls that aren't involved. Here we see it again. He actually got his own green bowl into the head, which flicked the jack out. He might have actually got a result out of this. It's hard to tell from our commentary position. It's one of those occasions where you need both the marker and umpire to do the measure. Dan Blewett, who's the umpire, will declare which bowl is shot. Green bowl.
2 shots, Steve Halmai.
And that was really an ultimate result. He was in the area. Got 2 out of it.
Set score 3-4 after 5 minutes.
Oh, we're having all the questions in this game. That was Steve was just actually asking Dan Blewett how far up the rink he could place the mat. Dan was just confirming the point at which
23 metres.
the mat would be too far up the rink. The minimum length of jack is just 23 metres, and that would mean that the mat is at its furthest point up the rink, and the jack then has got to be delivered onto the tee. We play 3-metre tees here at the World Bowls Tour events. Sometimes at domestic level and at club level we play 2-metre tees. National level in England we play 2-metre tees. Some areas are changing the rules, adapting them. I know a number of areas have started to bring in the respot, as we have at the World Bowls Tour events. All makes the game interesting. Good to again see so many of you viewers out there tuning in this morning, listening in to us. Thanks for your company. Another good ball by Steve here.
One green and the gap is 10 inches. One green.
I think Darren will go back to just drawing this. There's 10 inches of room there. He's urging that on. Doesn't like it. Could just bend in to get second shot. Not quite, I don't think. I'm sure Dan McManus will tell us shortly. You won't want to interfere with Darren's shot clock. But yeah, you see him walking over now to just have a quick glance at that. Obviously not able to call it in the time he needed to get back in position. Any sort of nudge on your own bowl here, Darren. Great bowl.
One shot, Darren Burnett.
That ties the scores up at 4-all after 6 ends. 3 ends left to play in this second set. Darren Burnett won the first set 7-4.
Set score 4-4 to 6 ends.
And we're in the second game here. On the 5th of November at the Dewars Centre in Perth. Firework night. We had all sorts of puns being thrown at me to throw into commentary last night about fireworks, and we've not seen many fireworks yet here today. Maybe in some of the games this afternoon. They do have a very impressive firework display here in Perth every 5th of November. Some years the 5th of November's fallen just before the event started, so we've all managed to get down to watch it. That's not going to happen for us dedicated lot up in streaming. We'll be here to the last bowl played. Again, Darren's played an excellent opener. He's looking down a very good track again here. Great ball from Darren. Again, Steve's not out of this, but he'll have to change a little bit of something here. Reach into that closest bowl of Darren's. Try and open it up a touch. Gone out for the all-out drive. It's interesting to see how much weight a player chooses to play. As I mentioned earlier, the Southern Hemisphere gentlemen do tend to go with quite a bit of pace. Just missed luck, yeah. Another player from Australia, Jamie Smith, he plays tomorrow just after lunch. He plays Andy Thompson, MBE. Darren covering here, doesn't want to make the head any bigger. And if Steve did get a connection on the closest bowl with the runner, it will flick out to where Darren's just placed that bowl. So it looks like he's gearing up for the drive again. Closer here. Look, the jack has just spun right back out to where Darren placed his last bowl. It's all about how they view the head. Have a look where they think a jack's going to fly to. Here we go on the action replay again. Closer here in the area, gets the front ball. The jack flicks out to the side of the rink. It's still live. It's still within the confines of the rink. Great delivery there from Darren to a displaced jack. Two here could be key. On a decent track. Oh, good effort, just fallen short, I think. The angle's not too good from here.
One shot, Steve Halmai.
He actually just managed to sneak in with that green bolt. It was really hard to tell from our position in the commentary loft up here.
Set score 4-5 after 7 minutes.
So Steve Halmai still in this. Darren Burnett won the first set 7-4. Can Steve Halmai take us to our first tie break? A number of people said when the draw came out for this event it was one of the strongest fields we've ever seen, and we all thought that we could be in for some shocks. Already had one today. Wayne Wilgress has beaten
Jack length 23 metres.
Jonathan Ross. I always say any qualifiers are always happy if they get into a tie break, because then it's just a question of who can win the 2 out of the 3 tie break ends. A lot of the qualifiers get a lot of experience at playing tie breaks. I'd say that from experience. Pressure back on Darren now.
One green.
There's one down.
Just one.
A tied set would do for Darren. It's Steve that's got to win this to take us to a tie break. Looks like Darren's just overplayed that. It's not in a bad home. Gives him opportunities and options with his next bowl. Steve's seen the danger, put in a back bowl. He's anticipating the fact that Darren's going to reach through this. Just played that under. Just not finding the consistent form playing in this direction of the rink. The indication in a minute as to whether that's made second shot.
Timeout called.
Darren's taken a timeout. Experience of the top 16, leave it till
Darren has 2 timeouts remaining.
virtually the last few seconds of their allocated time. It gives you the full chance of virtually 90 seconds to then deliver your bowl. Important bowl here for Darren, bowl number 7. Jack's gone out the side of the rink by the looks of it on a respot. He must have one. He could even have 2 out of this. No, just the one. I think his last ball went that little bit too far. But Steve's not moving though, so perhaps our angle is...
One shot, Steve Halmai.
There you go, commentary angles.
Set score 4-6 after 8 ends.
So, Darren Burnett, world number 7, 2 down, last end, second set. Are we going to see our first tie break? Could we see another seed go out?
Jack length 23 metres.
This is a good opening bowl. This would put all the pressure on Darren. He's left him a little bit of room there. Well, Darren actually hasn't made the most of that. He's certainly struggled on this shorter length jack. Whereas Steve's managed to come up with the goods on a number of occasions. And that is a very good bowl, Steve.
On the respot, and it is sitting 12 inches behind the respot position.
Good covering bowl there from Steve. Darren's got 2 bowls. He only needs a 2 because he won the first set, so a score of 6-6 would do Darren Burnett to go into the second round here at the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open. He's just missed that. And that leaves him only 1 bowl left, or we see our first tie break. Yeah, that's a great reposition from Steve Halmai there. He'd had it indicated off Dan McManus that Darren's bowl was actually on the respot. He's now beaten the respot. So what can Darren conjure up with this? Looks under the line to me. Well, we have our first match tie-break in the second match here.
Steve Halmai in the second set, Steve Halmai. Match tie-break. Dan won the toss and is elected to give the jack to Steve.
Jack length 23 metres.
Bad opener there
Ever so
from
slightly
Steve.
short of Jack high.
Of course, match tie-break. We're in a different set of rules here. It's 3 ends, but it's the first to win 2 ends. Doesn't matter how many shots you count, you just have to try and win the end.
One green.
The winner of the toss gets to choose whether they take the jack at the first, last end, whether they give it away, and the person that loses the toss gets to choose in the second end whether they take or give away the jack. So he's certainly playing this shorter length very well.
2 green.
Darren's just struggling at the moment to find this shorter line. I'm sure we'll see an aggressive bowl here. Try and change something. He's looking at it. He's very close. Got his own bowl. Well, we said there were going to be fireworks today, and this is certainly second game. Fireworks in the first game where our first seed disappeared.
1.5 inches.
Here's Darren's drive. Looked very close, but then just got his own short bowl.
Sorry, say that again.
Steve just asking for Dan McManus to indicate where the re-spot is. The players can ask that. They can actually ask for the umpire and marker to show them where the re-spot is. Can't stay with us, the results are on worldbowlstour.tv. If you can stay with us, some great games this afternoon. We start again at 2 o'clock with David Gourley and Ruti Galore from Israel. But meantime, back to this very, very exciting tie-break. Darren's on a very good track here. Perfect bowl. It just sits down. Could he have been unlucky?
Slightly favour 1 red.
Marker indicates he slightly favours 1 red. Now, Steve's choice of shot is looking like it's going to be a runner. Jack in ditch. Well, he's actually cleared all the bowls out, but it looks like Darren Burnett has stayed on the rink. If so, Darren could have won the first end with a 3-yard wide bowl. Fireworks of a tie-break.
First end, Darren Burnett.
If Steve had managed to pick the jack up and take it into the back ditch, it would have put the pressure back on Darren, but as it was, he cleared all the bowls out of the area and left Darren's bowl rolling over to the side of the rink, but not rolling enough to roll out. So Darren Burnett takes the
28.5 metres.
first end. If he wins this end, I'm sure it will be a very relieved Darren Burnett that steps into round 2. Indication was that he didn't like that bowl.
Two and a half feet down.
Well, Steve hasn't capitalised on that delivery of Darren's. Still plenty of room here for the 2014 World Indoor Singles Champion. Current Commonwealth
Today.
Games gold medalist. Steve's looking closer here. I think we're seeing shot ball coming in. Yep, shot ball in.
1-3.
It does actually stand out slightly to the side of the jack, so Darren does just nicely have the rest off the bowl or trail the jack. Big sigh there from Steve Halmai, who had been disappointed in the first end of the tie break. And Darren's not happy with this at all. Well, Steve looks to be playing the backhands again. Whatever happens, he wants to get another bowl in the head, ideally be counting second bowl. Darren's got one bowl remaining, but at the moment he does have a clear takeout shot. So where's this going to finish? That is a very good bowl. Might not just have made second, but it's in the area.
Timeout called.
Darren's just having a serious think about this, because he could play a similar bowl to his last draw and just overplay it. But if he has got second bowl, he's also got all the bowls over to the right hand side of your screen, as we saw it then. Yeah, he's chosen to play the runner. Percentage bowl, bowl or jack, very close. Takes both of them out. I think that might be one shot to red.
1 red.
Yep. Steve's got 30 seconds. He doesn't want to rush this. Just the draw. All he's got to do is repeat what he's been doing with every bowl at this end. All on the pace of this. The track looks very good. Is it going to make it? Is it going to make it? Darren Burnett, a very, very relieved man.
Second end of the match to Darren Burnett.
Thanks so much for your company. Join us again at 2 o'clock for further fireworks with David Gourley versus Ruthie Galore.
Once more, ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation to the two players. There will now be a short break and play will commence again at 2 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. So see you shortly.